Hello, parents. Welcome. So, here is a lesson about parts of a seed, as I communicated to you in our little mock lesson plan that I have given you all. So, this is like what I would do typically with the students on the whiteboard, and I'll have them work along with me. I'm not just, at the board just talking and teaching. Like, I'll have the students go ahead and label, the part of the paper up there, how I have parts of a seed, and I'll have them draw a circle. So everything here I would have the student do so that we are working together to help facilitate the lesson. So to jump right in, all right, so here is a mock drawing of my seed, and I'm going to start up at the top left over here first. And this is labeling where you have lines dashed out so that students can tell what you're talking about and, can understand that. So here, with talking about parts of a seed out here, I've kind of tried to illustrate a little bit. So this would be the seed coat. And I would write that and then also give the student time to write that as well. And letting them know about the seed code, that is the protection for the seed. Almost think of it as like when we go outside, we wear a certain gear to protect us from whatever weather might be going on. So like for instance, if it's raining, we wear a raincoat to protect us from the rain. If it's snowing, we wear snow gear, right? So it's kind of the same thing. The seed coat has that hard shell around it to protect its insides. Think of it as its own personal protective equipment, right? PPEs we're talking about right now, right? All right, and going down to the bottom, you have what is called the embryo. And this is where the start of the plant or flower comes along once the seed breaks open. So, this is the start of your root system and your sprout inside of the seed. So, to supply the embryo with nutrients needed before it actually does break out of the seed, you have something called your food supply. And once again, to let your student go ahead and write these things in as well, because with them writing and listening, that helps for memory, for them to understand and remember that. So you can pause the video and let them write it in after they've drawn into, and explaining what that is. So the food supply is nutrients that the seed already has inside before it breaks open and the roots go down into the soil and all that to start the growth of the plant or flower. So that is it. Just three simple parts that we teach for pre-K with parts of a seed. So once again, your seed coat, your protective outer coating for your seed, the embryo, which is where your flower or plant begins once it bursts open, and it has its own food supply. Any nutrients that is needed for that embryo to be healthy inside of the seed and to come into growing once you plant it. So that is it for your parts of a seed lesson.